Alrighty, what is up, people of the internet? I'm making yet another video today after like the longest time without making one. I've actually gotten requested this a couple of times, believe it or not. You know, my little 200 subscribers and 1,000 followers, little small numbers do come through, and I do have a lot of conversations with people, and they have asked me to make this video. So I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Let's do this right now. Also, if you're in my channel, you are one of like the new subscribers that I gained from my Jonas Brothers video. Hello there. I'm so glad they're Jonas Brothers fans, that we are united and that we're together and that we support each other for life. Little introduction if you're new here. My name is Sara Ascencio. You probably already know that by the name of my channel, but I'm going to throw it out there anyways. I live in Houston, Texas. I am a photographer, and the videos that I post here are very like photography, creative related. I am into food and stuff like that, so I do want to be posting a lot of more food stuff and just regular day-to-day stuff like vlogs and stuff like that. So if you don't know, now you know what to expect from this channel. Lots of food, lots of photos, lots of me being random, and then, you know, occasionally super random stuff like the reaction video that I made. I have noticed that as a photographer, my style of editing and shooting has changed throughout the years, like drastically. I do like to say that I do feel like as time passes, I am improving, and with every new style that I developed, I am like way more prouder than the last. Sometimes I look at photos that I took like a year ago and I'm like, oh my god, what the heck was I thinking? But then when I think back on when I took them, I was like so proud, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like everything's changing all the time. I'm super duper proud though of the style that I have developed recently. I'm working a lot more on like my photography page and stuff like that, and the colors, the tones, and everything that I'm going for right now is something that I'm really super into. I'm super proud of. So I was like, okay, there's no better time to make this video than right now. I'm liking everything that I'm doing, and I'm feeling like very confident about the work that I'm putting out there. So it's some good timing. Anyways, now that I have introduced myself and I have told you what this video is about, let's go and let's get right to it. So I just did this shoot on Sunday, and I'm gonna use this shoot as an example because I'm obsessed with most of these photos, mostly because Abby, which is the girl that I shot with, I did some senior photos with her, was just like an amazing model. Like, she did everything that I told her, and she took a lot of initiative to do things and poses on her own, and I feel like everything was just like amazing. So I was like, okay, I have to use her photos for this video. So all of the stars aligned, all of the stars have aligned for this video, so I'm out here. Okay, so first and foremost, we use Phil Chester. I base myself off of the Phil Chester presets. So let me show you a little bit of what the presets that I use have. So this is PCO1, PCO2, PCO2 in a white location, PCO3, PCO4, PCO5, and PCO6. So I usually base myself off of these. I'm usually always using PCO3 and then occasionally PCO2, but for everything I literally use PCO3. So I'm gonna go ahead and start there. So this is definitely when I first click on it, it's not entirely like how I want it to look, but there's little things that essentially come with this preset that I really like, and I really like to start with darkness all the time. If I have to increase shadows, whites, blacks, exposure and stuff like that, I will, but I'd rather work based off of like a darker image and go lighter than go based off of like a, you know, super like light preset and go darker. I don't know, that's just personal preference. There's not really anything, you know. Okay, well, there's my dog making an appearance like she tends to. I'm not even going to like stop this video. I'm just gonna keep going even if she barks. Anyways, okay, so the very first thing that I do is that I try to get it to an exposed level that I like. So it is a little bit dark. I'm just gonna upper the exposure and the shadows. As you can see in this area, there's like a lot of shadow, so I'm just gonna try to brighten that, and just a little bit of the blacks as well. I'm gonna lower the whites. I do feel like she looks a little bit pale, so I want to go ahead and do that. The other thing that I do is that I add some skin smooth. You always gotta skin smooth. I used to not skin smooth because I was like, oh my god, natural vibes, natural look, no, everybody wants their skin to look smooth, like, trust me. I actually would be so natural vibes that like some clients would be like, can you like, you know, make my skin softer? And I'm like, whoops, my bad. But these are the kind of things you learn as you go. So I'm gonna skin smooth. I don't skin smooth a lot, but I do skin smooth. Then I'm gonna do some spot correction right there. You can see she's got some little spots in her face. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those off. Alrighty, so that is that. The other thing I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna play with the blues. The blues are super duper strong. You can see there's blue here, blue here, blue here. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower the saturation of the blues, and look how much that already changed. I'm gonna make the green a little bit more yellow because that's something that I always do, and I'm gonna lower the saturation. And because it's very dark right here, I'm gonna increase the luminance of the green right there. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead, I always enable profile corrections. Look at the change. Isn't it drastic? I know that it is. Now I kind of feel like the picture's a little bit too bright, so I'm actually gonna lower the exposure like just a little bit. Okay, perfect. The other thing I'm gonna do is her skin tone. So important. Like I mentioned, I feel like she looks a little bit pale, so I'm gonna lower the luminance a little bit of her skin tone, and I'm gonna increase the saturation as well, so it doesn't look like I completely trying to drain the life out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna play with the temperature a little bit. I have always tended to go like towards the yellow, towards like the warm tones, and then I'm realizing, oh my gosh, all my pictures look so yellow. So now I'm kind of cooling everything down and trying to make everything look more neutral. Let's see the before and let's see the after. Alrighty, see, it looks a little bit too warm, so I'm gonna go ahead and cool it down a little more. See the more neutral. Perfect. I may go back down, lower just a little bit of the saturation here. Alrighty, perfect. So for this picture, the only other thing would be the shadows right here. They're a little bit too dark for my personal preference, so I'm just gonna up in that. Perfect. Alrighty, so this is the before, this is the after. I totally am gonna center it a little bit more. Alrighty, and that's that. Before, after. Before and after. So now I'm gonna go to a second photograph. Let's see this photo. Alrighty, so I'm gonna start again with PC03. I've actually developed my own presets. I base myself off of these presets that I use by Phil Chester, but I've developed my own presets, but I'm not using the ones I've developed because then I wouldn't really be able to show you the changes that I make, because I would have already shown you. I would be basically clicking on something and already just basically tweaking the exposure, because I've already kind of developed something where I'm always content with the tones and I'm always content with the feel. So for the purposes of this, I'm always going to be using PC03, and then I'll tweak it as I go. But like I said, I do base myself off of, you know, Phil Chester's presets. I feel like he's a genius. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is that I am just upping, is that even a term? Well, I'm using it right now. You get what I mean. I'm increasing the shadows and the blacks just a little bit. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with this little hair thing. Like, yes. Also, I told her, like, just stand and look, and literally look at her look. A queen. Anyways, back to it. I'm gonna raise a little bit of the blacks again. I don't want to play with the exposure because I love exactly the whites how they are right now, and I don't want to make it any brighter. Apart from that, I am going to take off some vibrance. I'm gonna try to equal that just a little bit close to the negative saturation that I have there. I'm gonna play with the blues. Not a huge fan of blue, always want to desaturate blue. And then I'm gonna I'm gonna change the hue of the green and I make it yellow. I'm gonna make it yellow, like I said, like I mentioned that I like. So right now, as you can tell, we've already made some progress. The only other thing is that I'm gonna lower the luminance of the orange so she doesn't look, yet again, pale. I feel like the image is a little bit greener, so I'm gonna change the tint, I guess, to like plus 15. There you go. It's not as green as anymore. I am going to add some clarity. I don't always, but for this picture I do want to add some clarity, and I do want to sharpen a little. I don't always add clarity and I don't always sharpen. Sometimes I actually end up adding grain, but for this image I wanted to add like that extra little punch, like the extra little punch and contrast that the clarity and the sharpening gives. So this image is basically almost good to go. I think it's perfect. I kind of want to center it, but just a little bit more. There you go. Perfect. And as far as the temperature goes, I'm actually pretty content. I may warm it just like a little bit. Alrighty, so that is it. Let us see. This is the before and this is the after. This is the before and this is the after. So I'm gonna go ahead and export these two images, and then I'm gonna show you towards the end these images as well as some more that I edited. So that is it. I feel like I should say more, or like things should be more complicated, but in reality it's pretty straightforward. This is something that I do. I'm gonna link below Phil Chester's presets. Oops, see, my light just went out, which means it's time for me to end this video, which is what I'm about to do. I'm gonna link Phil Chester's presets below if you guys want to purchase them. I highly recommend them. Like I showed you at the beginning, he has up to like six to 8 presets, different black and whites and stuff like that. Like I said, highly recommend them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Check out my website that I'm working on. It's not fully finished, but I'm working on. I'm actually going to be posting blog posts of some of these shoots and stuff like that. So if you want to see more of the photos that I'm taking and stuff like that, go ahead and click on my website and tell me what you think, even though it's not finished. Like I said, leave me a comment. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. I love to talk to people and meet new people all of the time. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.